Hello, and welcome to episode 24 of From Dust, the beginning of a new arc. If you missed last episode, don't worry, we'll recap. But also, gird yourself, prepare yourself, because shit got wild, and it's only going to be continuing in certain ways tonight. But before we hop into that, I'm going to leave us in suspense and let myself stress for probably about 15 more minutes, as that's how long our intros usually go. And we're going to do intros. Go around, say who we are, how we've been doing, that sort of thing. Starting with Summer. I actually haven't seen you since Tuesday?
Tuesday?
Yeah,
Seems wrong, but yeah, that's right.
that's a long time for us. How you been? What you been up to?
Yeah, been good, been doing great. Had a full week of games, which I feel like doesn't really ever happen anymore. Um, Obviously Monday we started and defeated Year Walk.
Yeah.
We fucking killed it. We did it.
We absolutely
We killed
annihilated
it.
it.
We annihilated that game, and it was so much fun, and it was just as spooky as I remembered, and I loved every second of it. Tuesday we played Alas for the Awful Sea, and so much drama is happening, and I think I'm hoping that it chills out for a second. We normally go through like waves of like high emotion for
Mm-hmm.
like 3 or 4 sessions and then down again.
Well,
But we'll see. I don't know. And
I
then what?
I thought we were gonna have a chill episode, not last week, but the week, or not this most recent episode, but the one before. And we
Yeah.
like had a mostly chill episode, and then the end of it was like, nuh-uh. And we
Yeah,
just
it
dove
kind of
straight
popped
back
off.
in.
Yeah, I think that this next one, even though we're going witch hunting, is going to be pretty chill, if I had to guess. You would think when you go witch hunting,
I've
things won't
given
be
up
chill.
guessing.
Uh, I also have because I also have given up guessing. But anyway, Wednesday did nothing, and it was great.
Cool.
I loved doing nothing. Thursday we had our penultimate episode of Monster Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good episode. I played, there was a scene where one of the characters is Miriam, and she is basically her parents, the Kims, they had a daughter who was killed in a freak accident, basically. And they spent the next 10 years trying to build an like robot version of her, like an android version of her. And
Mm.
Miriam is the 13th iteration of that. But Miriam met the ghost of the daughter, and the daughter, the actual daughter Adele, got to possess Miriam's body. And so basically, I had to play two parents who were getting to see their deceased daughter for 10 years again. And I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine the whole way through. And then at the very end of the scene, when I was talking about it's just the two of them watching their daughter that's been gone for 10 years making breakfast, I literally broke and was like, I'm going to start sobbing if we don't cut away right now. Cause I was like, I can't imagine. That's so sad. It's so good. And Robin, of
Yeah.
course, is fucking killing me. Um, so that should be the finale next week. And then we had Tales from Thersha, which was back after 3 months.
Woo! God, what a
Um,
mood.
we've been there, haven't we?
Couple
Haven't we
times.
all? It was like 3 months off. We had one episode. We were like, we're back. And then the holidays happened and a bunch of life shit happened. And it was 3 months off again. And we're like, we're back. So
Yeah.
hopefully we're back. I don't remember how to play D&D, and that was apparent last night. Even though I did argue with Katie about the rules. So that was fun. But yeah, it's been a really good week. I'm just hyped to be back here. I literally kept forgetting that this was today. I kept
We've
forgetting that
trained
this
you
was
into thinking
today.
it's not actually a bi-weekly show. It's a every couple months show. It's a
Yeah, it's
quarterly
a by
show.
month. It by yeah, bi-monthly, but every other month. Yeah. It was yeah, I'm excited though. I'm really excited. I think that got to a point where I spent the first week going, I'm so scared. What's going to happen? Can't I make us wait for the role? I don't know what's going to happen. And then the second week was like in denial, like, oh, I'm probably just never going to play again. I think we ended the arc, so it's like a really good place to end the game. Um,
Nope.
uh, yeah, but I'm very excited. Great week. Ending it great, right? Right
Yeah.
tonight. Yeah, because we
I'm
all know that tomorrow is the beginning of the new week, right, Dylan?
we had this conversation on, was that Monday or was that last
I
Monday?
have no
I don't
idea
know.
when it
We had
was.
that
I just know
conversation
that we
during
had
really
that
playing games
conversation.
where I think people who start the weekend on or start the week on Sunday are just
Deranged.
bonkers. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with them.
I
Like
think that was that we talked about that.
it's called the week end. It's the
I
end of
know.
the week. I'm
But
not gonna get
today's the
fired up about
weekend.
this.
Tomorrow is the new week beginning
No,
fresh.
it is also the weekend. Ah.
It is both at once. The weekend
Um,
and the first day of the week.
yeah, no, the show was not canceled because we hit the end of an arc. That's not a thing that happened.
Oh.
Because I like to think I'm a pretty nice GM in many ways, but I am a cruel GM in one specific way, and that is I will always make you face the consequences of your actions every single time.
Well,
So,
is this game ever gonna
I
end?
guess.
nope.
It's
uh,
just consequences for into infinity.
yep.
Great. I'm so hype about it. I'm
Awesome.
excited. I'm at a good place with Arrow right now. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, Kiana, how you doing? How's Farron doing? How are things?
I'm, I'm doing fine. As for Farron, I don't know. Farron's been in 2 weeks so near ocean death.
Yeah, so at the end of the last episode, we closed at the episode, we did our outros, we shut down the stream, and we did like some after stream busy work stuff, did XP and whatnot. But I asked Kiana, I was like, hey, so do you want to there are going to be some roles involved with seeing if Farron is still alive. Do you want to make those now? And then we can just sort of narrative stuff at the beginning of the next episode? Or would you rather wait? And they said,
I wanted to wait and play it and do it live. Do it live.
so yeah. Yeah, that's what we've been dealing with for 2 weeks.
I've been fine. I've had 2 weeks to process the possibility of losing a character.
I have seen y'all sending back and forth Farron and Gregor shit in this chat over the past 2 weeks, so I don't even want to hear it.
It's fine. It's fine. But other than that, it's been good. I got my streaming computer back. For those of you who don't know, I have had a time with this computer. I got the first model of it in 2018, and that one died 2 months in with the battery being defective.
Oh.
And so thankfully it was under shop and manufacturer warranty, so we just got a new model right away. And I also got extended warranty from the shop. And then as of the end of last year, the computer started to fuck itself up. Something happened. We didn't know what. It was capping out RAM at 43%. It refused to go any higher, which meant that everything was slow.
Yeah.
It took up to like 10 minutes for the computer to start up. It wouldn't restart properly. It refused to have more than 2 apps going on at the same time. And eventually I just went, fuck this. I just need a... So I took it into the shop and they're like, yeah, your hard drive's fucked. It's like toast. And they're like,
that's not ideal.
but thankfully it's still under 1-year
you want.
warranty, so we're going to send it to the manufacturer. So they did. And I was like, oh, how long will it take for it to come back? And they're like, well, it's Asus, so it'll take about 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's been about 5 weeks. But I have it back now, and I spent all of this evening setting it back up. But now I can actually do production.
Yay!
And like, I can play games that are not just Stardew, because as much as I love Stardew, I'm looking forward to playing other things as well, because this computer can handle it. And the computer I was borrowing is a tablet computer. It would actually die.
Oh, rip. Oh goodness. Well, I'm glad to have you back on the proper equipment. And your camera just slightly higher than it was before.
It's just the angle. If you notice, the angle is a little different because my actual computer, my normal computer, is a bit bigger in its screen, and since the camera goes on top of the screen, clipped onto there, to get a different angle of my face. It's cool.
Woohoo! Yeah. So I'm glad that has been resolved, if only to be one less thing for you to worry about, as the rest of us worry just constantly and intensely about your character. And speeding along through intros so that I can eventually stop worrying about that. Adam, how you been?
Well, if we want to talk about death, I've got more for
Uh-oh.
you. So I've
Uh,
been playing Descent into Avernus with some friends,
right.
and I just ripped one of my characters first time ever dying in D&D 5e since I've
Ooh.
played. Very early on too. We haven't played that many games, but the
What
dice have
level?
not been in my favor. We like just hit level 3.
Mm.
And that doesn't
Yup.
even kick off like the main point of the campaign. It's like the tutorial.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
He might not be gone for good. I asked my DM and he was like, hold the thought. So I haven't made any backup characters or anything yet, so I'll see what that's about.
Okay.
But still been fun. And big news. We've known it for a while, but we're finally getting to the point where we're ready to announce it. But my wife and I are going to be moving to Texas in March.
Woo! Awesome.
Yep,
Congrats.
Dallas Fort Worth area, just to finally like kick off the voiceover a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah, because
That's where it's at,
Funimation's in
man.
Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I've dipped
Congrats.
my toes into Funimation, so thank you very much.
I hope the move is smooth.
I'm very excited. We're going very light, but in general, like besides the voiceover, it's just it seems like it's going to be a nice area for like me and my wife to really start building like our foundation together and everything.
Mhm.
Like Connecticut is not that great on financial and other levels.
Mhm.
That area much better in that regard. A lot more
Yeah.
opportunities to be had, so things are looking up.
I've heard good things about the Dallas Fort Worth area. I have a couple friends in Texas and a lot of like family friends that live in Texas. So hell yeah. I hope that goes well.
The only thing I'm not looking forward to is the heat.
Yeah. Yup.
I'm going to die. My wife
I
will
like
love it.
I like living here where it's just cool year round and it's amazing and I love it.
Yeah, West Coast
Pretty
best.
Never
much
gets
Connecticut,
really
too.
cold or really hot. It's just cool.
It's just chill.
Meanwhile, I got the cold and the hot.
Uh-huh.
Congratulations.
Oh,
So happy for you.
yeah.
You're gonna have fun here in March, Dylan.
Oh god. Oh god. Yeah. I'm going to Canada, which for me will be the first time leaving the country ever, which is pretty cool. I'm going to Canada in March for Breakout Con, which is very exciting. But that also means I don't really know what to expect, because I have never been in that part, like that longitude. I've never been in that longitude at that point in time in the year. So I don't really know what to expect for that. But also I've never left the country before. So yeah, that'll be cool. If a little nerve-wracking, but whatever, it'll be fine. What the fuck has been going on with me these past 2 weeks? I don't know. Summer already talked about really playing games, so she stole like all of my stuff to talk about. I don't know. January ended. I finished Streamuary, streaming every single day in the month of January, and boy howdy, I'm still tired. It's the fucking, for those of you watching this on YouTube in 50 years, it is currently February 8th. I am still tired. So yeah, that was a time. January ended finally. Yeah. Oh fuck. And just yesterday I put out this month's Patreon papers, my monthly like game designy thing. And there was a thing that happened on social media, specifically regarding a new Unearthed Arcana subclass from Wizards, which was maybe leaked earlier, maybe not. It's really unclear, and frankly, I don't care. But it was for several subclasses, including a Love Domain Cleric, but that cleric there were some problems with the design of the subclass, not in like a mechanical way necessarily of like, it's crazy overpowered or it's boring or it's just poorly written or whatever. But it's meant to be a character or a subclass dedicated to like the exploration of love and magic within like the holy whatchamahoozits. But like the entire spell list was like charm person and command, and like it was all control stuff, which if you think about those spells in isolation or in context of like D&D's history, you can understand why they might have gone, oh yes, these are the spells that have to do with interacting with people. And so we'll put them in there. But really what it ended up being was just really bad. And so they took it down and they released a new thing that was the Domain of Unity, I think, which was better. But it got a lot of people talking about like what would a love domain cleric actually look like. And I was one of those people. And so for the first time in 84 years, I wrote some homebrew D&D content, and made a subclass for that. So that, I put that out yesterday. It's up on my itch for free. But that was pretty exciting. Most of my homebrew with D&D, like most of my homebrew experience with D&D is for 2nd edition. So getting to actually try and make an entirely new subclass for 5th was a fun exercise. And also just like exploring both, how do you make a character that's about love in a game that's all about killing people? And how do you make clerics interesting in a new way? Was a lot of fun. So I'm pretty stoked on how that turned out. So yeah, that's what's been up with me. The only other sort of disclaimer thing I want to put out there is I'm trying out some new camera tech tonight. So if my camera looks weird, let me know. I'm not going to change it for this stream, but the feedback will be helpful for figuring stuff out in the future. And actually, wait, no, I want to talk about this because it's funny. So the camera stuff that I'm trying out right now is because of the game we're going to be playing for Really Playing Games on Monday, because it requires controller support. And for those of you that don't know, I have a webcam that goes to OBS, which is what you usually see, which is a good webcam. And then I have a webcam that goes to Zoom so that the players can see my faces. And it's a shittier webcam, is how I usually do that. But that requires 2 USB ports, and a controller also takes a USB port, and I am out of USB ports. I don't have more, and that's including a hub. Like, I have so many USB devices connected to this fucking computer, and I was like, well, I guess I could just have Summer not see my face for all of Really Playing Games, or I could find a software solution to this. And so I'm trying a thing called SplitCam that streams basically my camera to multiple programs at the same time. But the funny thing is that this program, when you open it, has an advertisement built into it. And there's no ad-free version of the program. It's entirely freeware. And there are no pictures for this advertisement, but this program really wants me to know the benefits of streaming to my free cams, which for those of you that don't know is an adult porn live streaming service. and you can't fucking close it. And so this ad just is here being like, wow. Hey Dylan, did you know that you will earn the most money as
did you get into porn
as a cam girl if you're over on my free cams? And I'm like, I didn't, but I know now. So
thank God, if you're gonna use extra cash, that option's available to you.
Look forward to me trying out new types of content in 2020. So yeah, I had to share. I couldn't keep that to myself. It's too good. But yeah, because it's a software solution, it might have some lagginess to it. And so I'm testing it out tonight. And if you notice that like my voice is lagging behind or my video is lagging behind or I'm being super choppy or anything like that, please just speak up in chat so I know, so I can evaluate whether I want to use this thing in the long run or not. Yeah, okay. Do we want to do recap and hop into the game? Does that sound fun?
Why not?
Cool. And hey, look, it took us about 15 minutes. I was right. So previously in episode 23 and episode 23.5, let's see. The group gathered together and got their party together. They got their NPCs, got Rolf's Raiders to sign on. In exchange, Gregor agreed to join Rolf's Raiders afterward. Gregor and Farron had a bit of a conversation about that, where Farron was understandably irritated. Although Farron was in the midst of telling everyone that, no, there's nothing going on between Farron and me. Certainly not. I just really don't want him to join this other group. It's weird. But Gregor assuaged some of those concerns by saying that there's nothing saying Farron couldn't come with. Meanwhile, Arrow had a conversation with Fletch, where Fletch was like, hey, we could just not go. And Arrow was like, nah, dying sounds like a pretty good idea to me right now. And Fletch was like, but what if we didn't do that and instead we made out and boned? And Arrow was like, let's do both. And they had some off-screen time. The group got together. Farron went and picked up their necromancer from Cape Symbol, and the group teleported to the area outside Elisurdran, and the army was not there. Because when Ilmogara cracked open the earth in retaliation against the party stealing Hawk, she uncovered the tunnels beneath and used them to infiltrate Elisurdran. The party teleported into the city and was like, this is probably bad. And by the time they got to convincing Mian, Arrow's mother, and also the Speaker for the Forest, sort of the leader of the elves in Elisurdran, convincing her that shit was going on, the undead were already in the city and had already been turning people. The group rushed beneath the tree while Rolf's Raiders held off the entrance to the sort of warrens beneath. They went down an ancient passageway and discovered, to not their surprise, because they knew it was there, amazement perhaps, the fire of life, which they had seen in a vision long before. They split off a couple pieces of it, harming themselves very slightly in the process. And also, I will point out, because I didn't say so explicitly, that there was a failure on one of the moves, or on one of the rolls, and one of the things that you get to choose if you succeed, meaning that it by default is not true if you fail, is your actions do not have far-reaching consequences you could not predict. So we get to look forward to that at some point. The flame kept branching out, but yes. They lit some torches, which quickly bloomed with life, and Farron took Willow and Fletch and teleported them to Cape Symbol to safeguard one mote of the flame. Fletch begged Farron to take her back so that she could stay with Arrow no matter what happened, and Farron said no and was like, I'll come get you if something happens, but for now I'm leaving you here. and then rejoined the party as they sort of dodged their waking parents. The party headed back out into the city, teleporting toward the entrance of it in hopes of finding Ilmagara. They snuck through the city with Narum, the necromancer, sort of holding off the larger parts of the undead until they reached the center again and saw Ilmagara. But between them and her, they also saw a horrifying beast of limbs and heads and bodies, a melded monstrosity of undeath. The party rushed forward, Arrow trying to shoot Ilmagara and take her out from a distance. The beast stood in their way and threatened them. I think almost bodied Farron, if I remember correctly. And in a moment of clarity, Farron took hold of the beast, turned to Gregor, said that they think they love him, and teleported both themselves and the beast into the ocean far away. Arrow was struck down briefly by a curse from Ilmagara, but he had already weakened her, and so when Gregor jumped forward with Skullbreaker in his hands and drove the hammer down with all of his might, Ilmagara was slain. Arrow was saved. And Farron was left in the ocean with this corpse-like being as it drug them down into the depths. So, when we come in today, Farron, you are hovering, floating, I think is the word I'm looking for. You are floating, looking over Cape Symbol. And you can see the sun rising in the east. The light just starting to peek through some of the windows. And you can hear the sounds of the city waking. Where does your attention go subconsciously?
The family home.
And as you find yourself outside the windows looking in, sort of that like front living area of the home that you have spent too little time in the past few decades, but that is still instantly recognizable to you. And you can see your parents, and you can see Willow and Fletch, and you can see this torch of flame, shrouded in branches, in leaves. When you look at your parents, you can see worry on their faces. What does Farron say?
I'm sorry I didn't spend a lot of time at home. I did promise, though. Promised I'd come back.
And as your hand touches the cold pane of glass in the window on the outside of your childhood home, I would like you to roll Defy Danger with either Strength or Constitution, your call.
Constitution.
You
10.
snap to consciousness in the middle of the ocean as you wring your foot free of the many hands that held onto it. You can see the hulking shape of this monster slowly descending through the depths, bubbles rising around it. But above you, you see the sun. And you swim. I would like you to roll one more Defy Danger.
7.
You swim as hard as you can. Your muscles are screaming at you. Your lungs also, as you've been down under the water for who knows how long. You swim 10, 20, 30 feet, and it seems like the surface doesn't get any closer. Finally, you can't hold your breath any longer, and you inhale a deep breath of water choking on it. The salt grating against your teeth. And then you feel the air on your face. What do you do?
Teleporting myself right to my parents' kitchen.
We see, I think, an aerial shot of Farron, like treading water in the ocean for a moment, and then there's that characteristic twisting of space, and Farron is gone. And we cut over to Ella Surgeon, where there is a strange stillness in the air as everyone looks around, sort of in shock, disbelief, fear. And finally, a cheer begins to rise from those who are still alive. People's weapons re-entering their sheaths, or in some cases, the undead bodies to make sure they're dead. But overall, a feeling of relief washes over everyone. But Arrow and Gregor, you know that Farron is missing. What do you do? Oh, that was a perfect time for my internet to blip. We'll be back, and there we go.
Hi. Yeah, I think Arrow is like moving over to Gregor. And is like, where do you think they went? I mean, where would they take that thing?
They wouldn't bring him back home.
No, I'm just. Do you think it'd be somewhere close by, somewhere that we could get to? Like, how much of the forest have they seen? Just the outskirts, right? But
Maybe.
I
Could've brought
can
him back
send.
to that town on the way here.
Maybe I can send Lake, and Arrow whistles for Lake.
Yeah, she flies down.
Yeah, and he just tells her Farron is missing. If you can just circle, get up high, and see if you can see them anywhere in the area.
Of course. And she flies up and begins searching.
I don't know what we do now. We can't get anywhere fast without them.
I don't know either. Are you okay?
Yeah, surprisingly, I feel fine.
Okay, you're just gonna look around the city and just go, shit.
Yeah,
Gregor has nothing he can do.
there are, Gregor, you've never been in war, right? Like war is not a thing that
No.
you've done. But you've seen battles.
Oh yeah.
And you've seen what it looks like when two smaller forces clash. This is something entirely different. The corpses like pile in the streets, and up against the buildings. It's impossible to tell which ones came with Ilmagara and which ones fell to her. It's a horror show. And as you look around, you see Rolf. He's got like a healthy, or I should probably say unhealthy, amount of blood down one side of his face. But he's walking directly toward you with purpose. What do you do?
As he's walking over and I see that happening, I turn to Gregor really quickly and I say, "You deal with this. I'm going to go look for my mother."
Okay.
And Arrow's going to go so that they have space. And he's looking for Mian.
Where's your magus?
I don't know.
The fuck do you mean you don't know?
I have no idea.
Damn it. You have plans on finding them?
Whatever we can do. Arrow just sent his bird out. See if they're anywhere around here.
They fucking run?
No, they got that monster out of here. They gave us a chance.
Right. Sorry.
Anybody left?
Rima's been injured. It's not looking good.
Shit, I'm sorry.
She knew the risks.
There might be someone that can help her.
That's why I was fucking asking.
Not here. Not, unfortunately.
Fuck.
Let's see if we can find you a medic or something.
Appreciate that. And he's gonna start walking back over toward the tree, and you can see now that like the fighting has stopped. The other two members of Rolf's Raiders, Albina and Gureb, are at the roots of the tree, and Rima is like leaned up against it, and there is a large dark spot sort of in like the center of her chest, and that's not a good sign. What do you do?
Gregor will just like shout like, "Can we get a healer over here?" And then he'll like kneel down by Reba and like put a hand on her shoulder and say,
Yeah.
"You look good."
She's very out of it.
Okay.
She as she breathes, you can hear there's like a wetness to her breathing, and sort of your unprofessional opinion is that one of her lungs has probably been punctured, and she's on her way out, and she just sort of looks up at you, not really seeing you. Like she doesn't fully make eye contact, and she says, "Thanks, I tried my best."
Thank you for everything.
You can see Albina is right there. Rima is their physiker. That's sort of her job on the team. And Albina is just sort of like going through Rima's bags, pulling things out and throwing them on the ground. And I think I would like you to defy danger with charisma to try and get someone's attention off of
Okay.
that shouting.
Ugh.
Mark XP. There are so many injured people here. There are people that could help, but they're busy seeing to other folks who are injured and or dying. And I think we pan over to Arrow as you're walking and looking around. And I think your mother finds you more than you finding her. And she grabs you by the shoulder. Where is your sister?
She's safe. She's not here. She's safe.
And you?
I'm all right.
She like grabs your chin and starts like looking in your eyes and
Yeah. There's probably like blood and shit on him, but he's
Yeah.
okay. Like he doesn't look bad, right? He looks okay.
I saw you go down and
I was saved. I'm fine now.
what happened?
Farron took the creature, teleported the creature away somewhere. I don't know if it still lives. And then Gregor managed to get in a final hit on Ilmagara. She's dead.
Well, today is a day of counting blessings. She looks around and like the sort of air of triumph has faded out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
As they have to come to terms with the cost of this fight.
Yeah.
And I think we cut to Theron's house. We cut into the living room and we see Willow and Fletch. Fletch is pacing impatiently, sort of near the door, while Willow sits in a chair. Both of Farron's parents are standing, and Willow is fielding a barrage of questions from the two of them. When suddenly there's a thud and a gasp and a sound of like spilling water through the doorway. And Farron, what do you do?
Probably hacking up a lung from the salt water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, one or two.
I think they're trying to get up, but it's just so difficult with just the force of the coughs that are racking through them as their body is trying to expel the salt of salt water.
Yeah. And your parents rush into the kitchen. But both of them are well salted at this point from the ocean. And I think they help you clear your lungs. This isn't the first time one of them has had to help somebody cough up some seawater. So they come in and they help you get the last of the water out, and then immediately they're asking you more questions than you can parse. You can't even really tell like which one of them is saying which words. It all just blends together into a wall of sound. What do you do?
I think Farron just puts their arms up and just pulls them into a hug.
They hug you back, And you're covered head to toe in salt water as it is soaked through, but we can see as an audience both of your parents crying quietly as they hold you close.
Sorry. Didn't mean to worry you.
You decide to go for a swim?
Yeah, just thought it'd be refreshing mid-battle. Would suggest not going fishing in the deep parts for a bit.
Your parents exchange a look, as do Willow and Fletch. And Fletch has been hovering in like the doorway of the kitchen, waiting for an opportunity. What happened?
Fielded an attack from Imagar and a monster, abomination. Arrow
okay?
and Arrow and Gregor went for Ilmagar. I thought I'd remove the monster off of the chessboard, so to speak. Dumped it in the ocean.
The last you saw, because you left before the battle was over, the last you saw, Arrow was on the ground suffering from a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Farron is very specifically choosing not to say that.
Yeah. Okay. Fletch is going to press the issue, though. Is he okay?
Gregor was there.
What aren't you telling me?
Things are fine. I'm probably go back though.
Good. I'm ready.
Looks over to Willow.
Willow's still sitting in a chair holding this like growing branch, which she's got like braced against the ground or the floor like a staff at this point. And she shrugs. I can watch this.
Now, are you sure?
Are you sure you're ready to go back?
No, I really didn't mean to be away for so long already.
I think your father will speak up. You just hauled yourself out of God knows what and coughed up a gallon of salt water. You're not in a position to be fighting anyone, Farron.
There are more things that I can do than just fighting. And they need those types of skills out there. I'll be fine. I'm standing and breathing just fine now.
You are standing and breathing. I don't know if we can classify it as doing just fine. I would like you to defy danger with charisma?
Charisma?
Yeah. To get everybody to chill out.
Oh my god, that's...
Mark experience.
Yeah, that's a first. Okay.
I think you say like I'm standing and breathing just fine, and and then like the fatigue hits, like the adrenaline drains and your fatigue hits, and your entire body just feels like it's been beaten with sticks. Like you feel awful. All of your muscles are sore. Your lungs are sore. Your throat feels scratched. You just feel awful, and you waver, I think, for a moment, and you can see that you haven't convinced anyone, but no one is going to stop you. Frankly, no one can. So
I can teleport.
yeah, hard to argue with that. What do you do?
I think Farron still has their hands on one on his mom's shoulder and the other on his dad's. I'll be back as soon as everything's sorted. I can't leave the others.
All right.
I promise I'll be back, not just to, gestures with her head towards the, awkward growing branch.
Yeah.
It's like, not just for that, but, an actual proper, normal, no fights, no battles or monsters type visit.
Your mom's gonna pull you into another hug, and then hold you at arm's length and say, "The next time you come back, don't just leave a note."
I know.
And Fletch is gonna like do a "can we go," insensitive as she is.
Yeah.
Can you
Farron will
take-
squeeze their mom's hand and reaches out a hand to Fletch.
Can you take me to where he was?
Close as I can.
Okay. And as we see the world twist in on itself one more time, we're at the top of an hour. We are going to go to our first break. So, we're going to step away for about 10 minutes, and when we return, we will find out what happens as our heroes are reunited. See you soon. Hello and welcome back to episode 24 of From Dust. And God, I am having a hard time deciding which three of you, like whose perspective I want to start us off with here. We're gonna stick with Farron for a second. There's that weird sensation of pitching slightly forward, and you find yourself standing in the dimly lit square of Elisurdran. It's much quieter than the last time you were here. I think maybe you had sort of like psyched yourself up to be ready for everything to be much louder and more frantic. And so the quiet of people just sort of talking and occasionally shouting out orders hits you much harder than you had perhaps expected. And you are not immediately accosted by swarms of undead. What do you do?
Farron's looking around, being like, what the fuck?
Could you discern realities for me, please?
Sure. 11.
Hot damn! You got some questions. Oh, but I am going to give you make it a 10. That doesn't change the effects, but I'm giving you -1 ongoing from your exhaustion.
Cool. Cool. That's fine.
But yeah, you got 3 questions.
Okay. What happened here recently?
Yeah, looking around, you're standing like on the spot where Arrow was laying on the ground when you left. And you can see the crumpled form of Ilmagara, her face obscured from our camera angle tastefully, but it's clear to you that she is extremely dead, as is the rest of the undead army, and somehow or another Ilmagara was defeated, and the army along with her, presumably at the same time that the horrible monster let go of you. You can sort of piece those things together.
Okay. What here is not what it appears to be?
That's a really good question. Is nothing an acceptable answer for you?
Sure.
Is that
Yeah.
that okay?
I mean, it's an answer.
Yeah, I think for once, like, you're looking for the catch, right? You're looking for the trick that's gonna pull the rug out from under you. And I mean, there are a lot of very hurt people. There are a lot of dead people, and it's pretty much exactly as it seems.
Cool. I would also like to remind you that I now have a new fear.
Yes.
Madness.
Yes, of dead bodies.
Yeah.
And it's definitely acting up.
Yep. Cool. Because my new fear is I can't fully believe that something will stay dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Okay, last question. What should I be on the lookout for?
Gregor, probably. Who's over at the base of the tree. You can see that he's kneeling in front of Rima, and she is dying.
Yep, going over there.
Okay.
I'm leaving Fletch to her devices. 'cause-
Yeah, just I think we see you run toward Gregor, and we see Fletch run in another direction, out of frame, and we move to Gregor. As you look down at Rima, Gareb is trying to like staunch the bleeding, like just apply pressure to the wound, while Albina swears at Rima's bag of supplies, and then all of a sudden, without any warning, Farron is there next to you.
Yeah, Gregor's like mainly focused on Rima at the moment, but like the second Farron comes into view, like the biggest smile in the world is just gonna like show up on Gregor's face. He's just like, Farron, can you help?
Farron goes through like the emotions of like, you're here, you're alive, you're fine. There's a dying person.
Oh shit!
They don't say that out loud, but like, but you know,
Someone's
like
losing her mind.
there's definitely that, that cross of emotions across their face.
Mm-hmm.
But they will try to be as professional as they can be, being completely drenched.
Yeah. Yeah, that's noteworthy for you, Gregor. Farron's just soaked through for
I'll get
some
to that in a
reason.
second, but I'll otherwise just get out of the way so
Yeah.
Farron can do their thing.
Yeah, and Farron's gonna lean and kneel down in front of Rima and kind of gently kind of move people out of the way. To, like,
Mm-hmm.
let me do my job.
Before you roll,
Okay.
I think you're going to have to roll to hinder yourself.
Cool.
Because you are surrounded by bodies. And on top of that, this situation I think is eerily familiar to you. A young woman with a severe chest wound at the edge of life, and only your magic to save her.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that this is a moment for you.
Okay.
So roll plus bonds with yourself.
That's cool.
I'm gonna get my book because I don't remember.
Fuck me.
So you'll be taking a cumulative -2 because you've got +1 from your discern realities. That cancels out the exhaustion.
Okay. Let's do some magic, I guess. -2.
And what does this fear look like as you begin to see to Rima's wounds? What do we see?
I think Farron's is really stiff, as if, trying to, as if overthinking everything. As the last time they tried to do this, they failed quite poorly. And I think you also see their eyes keep flicking, despite trying to concentrate on what's happening, keep flicking around to the corpses, as if continually having to check in that they are not moving.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Oh my god.
Mark experience. Your hands tremble as you look over Rima's wound, and you hold them there, and you can't bring yourself to do it. The fear of failure is worse for you than not trying at all. And you just can't bring your magic forward. Gregory, I think you can see this. You might not know necessarily what's going on with Farron, but you know what Farron doing magic looks like, and this isn't it.
Right. Yeah, I think Gregor will see that right away, and is just gonna yell again, loud as he possibly can, try and get someone's attention.
And we're gonna cut over to Arrow. As I don't think Fletch is really a tackle hug kind of person.
It's like a smash. It's not like a full tackle, but it's like a high five. Equal force on both sides.
Yeah, I think she grabs hold of your hand and spins you around to face her, and the two of you embrace, and she holds you almost painfully tight. Your sort of cardiovascular system isn't super happy right now.
Yeah. I heard it's not too hard, please.
Yeah, you're gonna literally break my heart.
Yeah.
And I think she just like buries her face and her hands in your neck and hair and just holds you as tight as she can. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same for him. He didn't expect to see her back here so soon. And I think on top of that, like after what happened where he literally couldn't breathe, like his heart wasn't beating, he was pretty sure that he wasn't going to ever see her again.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no, now that the threat is gone, there's like no panic in seeing her here. It's literally just like 100% relief of having her back. And so he's just gripping her as tightly as he can to him. And yeah, I don't think he makes any move to like pull away from her.
I don't think she does either. But she says, "Never send me away from you again."
I won't.
Promise me.
I promise.
And I think what interrupts you actually is a mixture of Gregor's yelling for help and Lake's. God damn it!
You're welcome.
It had been so long.
I
since
have
had
a
to deal with
hawk
this.
named Lake and a sister named Hawk. I'm a bitch.
Yep. If you're looking for someone to make
song.
your life a living hell, have Summer in your game.
Hey, I'll do it to you.
She will, and you'll love it. Lake, who is a hawk, her voice pipes up in your head to say, "He's here."
Great. Yeah, he doesn't know that, so he's like, all right, where?
She says, "By the tree."
Okay. And he pulls back from Fletch. He says, Baron's back. I guess you would know that, wouldn't you, if you were back too?
They brought me here, yes.
We should go. Gregor seems distressed.
Yeah, she sort of reluctantly lets some distance grow between the two of you, but I think she's gonna take your hand in hers and hold it tightly as you move toward your companions, and you see Gregor standing and yelling for like help, a medic, healer, and you see Farron kneeling in front of this person. Farron, what are you doing? Are you just paralyzed, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think not even like a sound is leaving them right now.
Yeah. Given the sight right here and this person's, do they look dead to me?
Not.
Or are they still breathing a little bit?
Yeah.
In the throes of death, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. Arrow turns his head and yells out, "Mother." That's like the person that he trusts to fix everything. I mean, like as children do, you think your mother can fix everything, but also she's the speaker of the forest. So like, come on, no big deal.
Yeah, she'll start running over. I will point out to you that if I'm not mistaken, I think Arrow can actually help. Because of the last time you leveled up.
I can maybe. Let me look.
I'm pretty sure, because you expended some other spells, and you always chose to burn the spell, so you don't have any minuses. or anything.
That's true, but I don't have any spells left. I only have 2 at a time. So I used both of them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so basically the way that I'm choosing to run Arrow's spells is that he will always have the same spells rather than like picking different ones every time, because I feel like
Gotcha.
that for me will get confusing. But he has no spells left. But I mean, I can try and help. Like, I mean, I'm not stupid. I know fucking medics on the road. If you, as my mother is coming over, I don't know if, I guess aid's not the right word for it. What would you want me to do?
Um.
I have so much that could potentially help, but
Well, you tell me what you want to do, and we'll figure out what the move is.
I don't want to save them. I want to stabilize them. I'm not trying to make her better. I'm trying to make sure that she doesn't get worse, so she doesn't die. Like, if she's on death's door, she's gonna stay right on the doorstep and not go. That makes sense.
Don't knock.
Yeah, don't knock on the door.
I think this is a defy danger with intelligence.
I am not stupid. Okay, I'll do that.
Oh man.
Can I get a plus from Fletch? They do offer helping things, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I just don't know what I haven't really looked into it that much. I know you've told us multiple times, but I still don't know what they do.
I have, and also I'm pretty sure you can look at the character sheet. But
Can I?
Pretty sure. I don't think they have anything specific, but for the sake of the fiction, because this is a fiction first game, yes.
Great. Okay. So I'll do
anything you know about healing, she would also know.
That'll be a 9 then.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. I'm gonna say yes. You managed to stabilize her, but her situation is so tenuous, so fragile, that you have to stay there and maintain contact.
That's absolutely fine.
You can't move away.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody else that I desperately love starts screaming for help on the other side of the
and then suddenly
you hear a cry in the distance. Yeah, I'll stay here, and obviously I feel like Fletch is offering support to help. And Arrow has completely moved Farron out of the way, just by the way. If Farron's like unresponsive, Arrow's is like, bloop, bloop. Goodbye to you, Farron. I know that you went through some shit, so just sit over there and go through it over there. Kind of thing.
Okay. Your mother will be rushing over. I wanna transition over to Farron though. As a shadow passes over you, I think you can sort of shake back to some semblance of movement and control, and you see Narum standing next to you.
You wouldn't happen to know any healing, would you?
And he looks over at Rima and then back down at you. That was not included in our deal.
No, I suppose not.
I did my part.
Farron just kind of shrugs the holster for the freaking scythe, which probably did not help during the trying to swim to the surface situation.
Definitely did not. No.
And just like grabs it by the handle and just pulls up. Deals, I guess.
He holds out a hand to take it.
And Fern will put it into his hands.
And you feel a chill run down the handle of the scythe as he takes hold of it and pulls it back toward him. It has been interesting working with you. Thank you for your patronage.
Let's hope that the next time we meet it won't be under such dire circumstances, if at all.
Yeah, he looks around a bit. If you wish to make another deal. And he looks meaningfully at Rima.
Mm. I don't believe that's a deal that I should be taking on.
Well, he holds out a hand, and there's a faint glow of energy around it, and you are back at full HP.
Oh, that's cool.
And he puts the scythe on his back. Very well. I will see myself out. Summer. You're killing me. What do you do?
Farron does kind of look at the other. It's kind of just as like a.
I think you're having this conversation alone. I think their attention
cool.
is otherwise occupied.
Yeah. All right. At that point, I think Farron is just looks, watches the room leave.
All right. And he'll walk his way out of the city. Gregor, you see Arrow come over. Something happens off in the periphery that you don't quite catch. And then Mien, Arrow's mother, rushes over to try and help. God. I don't know that there's much she can do. She'll call a healer over. But
at least she knows people.
Yeah.
yeah. Like she can order someone to be like, "Hey, get the fuck over here."
Yeah, she can be like, "The best of the best. Get your ass over here, stat."
Yeah. But the fact of the matter, I'm just gonna state this plainly. The fact of the matter is, without magical healing, Rima is eventually going to die.
Well, I thought there was going to be there's definitely magical healers here, Dylan. There definitely are, because we have masters of everything, because we sit here and do nothing else other than sit by a fount of magic.
That's fair.
Constantly.
I
called my mother because I was under the assumption my mother had magical powers. Arrow has them now. I would feel like Mien would have magical powers.
Arrow didn't get magical powers from his mom.
Well, my dad can go suck it because he's an egg.
Arrow got magical powers from Mab.
Well, okay. Mab is my babe. Where's my feather?
She
Can I
is.
pull my feather out? Where's my feather? I launched it.
Yeah, you used
Can I get it back?
You could go looking for it, but that would involve getting up and leaving. Rima.
Do I think Fletch could hold? Now that my mother is here as well, that the two of them could, if she could take my spot, I feel like they could, Dylan. Realistically, the two of them could take my spot. So I could go look for my feather. Or if you want, I'll tell an NPC to go look for it. What do you want from me? I'll go look for it and tell an NPC to take my place, or I'll tell an NPC to go look for it. You tell me what you prefer. I know you prefer me to go look for it because I have the potential to fail, and NPCs don't have that potential.
That is a thing. That's true. That is a true thing about my feelings. But also, I kind of want you to abide by the consequences of your role. What a tough question. I think it is fair to say that there is magical healing here, because we've talked about the fact that like magic happens everywhere, and so Elisurdran being hidden, they probably have people that.
And we were right next to the fucking fire.
You also have a torch of this fire.
Could we just light her on fire and she'd be fine?
There's a move for that.
What is it?
You roll plus Constitution, and you get to choose some things.
Okay. I get to roll plus Constitution.
If you would like to, I think, Gregor, are you the one holding the torch right now?
I am.
What's your Constitution, Gregor?
Probably better than yours.
Well, I would hope so.
Well,
what's yours?
What happens in the fiction? Like you're sitting here.
Let's compare constitutions before we talk about it. What's your constitution?
Well, we saw I withstood the flames earlier.
That's true. But that doesn't mean I could have just had a bad roll. What was your constitution? What's your constitution modifier?
2.
More than your plus 0.
I have a 1 in constitution.
Oh,
thank you.
I'll definitely say Gregor didn't once think he could possibly use this thing to help.
I have a 0 in charisma and strength.
Oh,
as we know.
Sorry. Yeah, so you have you're maintaining pressure on this wound.
Yeah.
What do you do, Arrow?
I'm just
Mian starts like trying to call someone over, but
Mian's like trying to call someone. I look over at Gregor, who's pretty close by, and I'm like, I think you could use the fire. It's a fire of life. We could try and cauterize the wound with it. I think it would help.
Okay.
Just, I think, and he's gonna like tear the cloth aside to just like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're at interwebs, and we're back.
He's gonna tear the cloth aside to completely expose the wound to Gregor and be like, just touch the torch to the wound. I think it'll help. She's out of it enough.
All right. He'll look at her and just be like, oh, I'm sorry. And he'll just press the torch up against the wound.
We're just going to seal it up. I'm pressing, not to get too graphic, but I'm pressing like the skin together to like actually fully cauterize it. Yeah. So, Gregor.
Gregor, would you like to roll plus Constitution?
Sure.
A 9.
Can I help? Can I aid? I can. I know I can. I was helping, Dylan. Please let me do it. I know that I didn't say claim it before the roll, but please, that happened so quick.
Just please this once.
Okay, thank you.
I'll let you roll to aid.
You're amazing. Thank you.
God.
8.
All right.
So plus 1.
That bumps it up to a 10. You get to choose, or you get all 3. The conflagration of raw vitality does not burn you. You can bend the energies of life to bring life where it was not before. And this is the important one. Your actions do not have far-reaching consequences you could not predict.
Okay.
You touch the torch to Rima's wound, and you see her gasp, and her back arches as the fire flicks out from the sort of like wooded cage that it had grown around itself. It sinks into the wound and under her skin, and you can see her veins glow as her blood ignites with this fire. And she seems to scream silently, but when you pull the torch away, the wound has closed, and there's just this sort of twisted scar where it was.
Does she seem healthy?
She collapses back against the roots, and I think her lids just close, and she loses consciousness. But as you hear her breathe, it is not that ragged, dying sound that you had heard before.
Gregor's gonna look at the torch and just say, I'm starting to like this thing.
Thank you, Gregor. I think she'll be okay. She just needs some rest.
Is Rolf nearby at all?
Yeah, he's right there. He is shocked, I think is the word we're looking for. At this turn of events, and he just swears.
Which one?
Rolf swear.
Oh my god.
But Gregor will just give him like a confirming nod.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad helping us didn't end up costing too much.
Truly, we couldn't have done this without all of your help.
It was nothing. Well, fuck,
That's
no.
not true.
It was something. It was a lot, but...
And we will pay you back
look after.
accordingly.
He looks at Gregor. We've already got
Arrow
panic
knows what he
squared away.
said.
Yeah, let me just tend to some other stuff first.
Yeah. He looks down at Rima. I don't think we'll be going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. And Gregor will give like Arrow a nod and a smile for the good idea. And then Gregor's gonna look around for Farron now that he can finally pay attention to.
Farron's stunned on the floor, right?
Farron is... are you still sitting? Did you stand?
I think Farron's still sitting.
Okay.
I think literally probably Arrow just like knocked them onto their butt. Like they were like on their knees and Arrow's like, goodbye. And Farron's just like, bleep. I'll sit here.
Before Gregor heads over to Farron, just in the rush of everything, you know, certain things fell to the wayside, but he's just gonna look down at Skullbreaker and just say, great job, buddy.
You did passable yourself.
I appreciate that. He's not gonna linger in the conversation. He's just gonna head over to Farron. And I guess I'm assuming Farron's pretty noticeably shook.
Yeah, and also drenched, and also the scythe is missing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Gregor will get to the rest later, but he'll just like kneel down in front of Farron and like put his hands on their shoulders and be like, "Hey,
Hi.
you're soaked. You smell."
Thank you.
Gregor's gonna like go to say something like witty, but then his lips gonna like start quivering, and he's just gonna pull like Farron in and just like squeeze him, gentle hard, soft hard.
Yeah.
And like he's just gonna like quietly like bury like his face in his neck.
Yeah, and Farron will wrap his own arms around Gregor. Glad you're still alive.
Gregor's gonna like take a really deep breath and like raise his head up and like he's just like got tears coming down at this point. And he's gonna like chuckle a little bit and like cup Farron's cheeks and just like rest his forehead against his and just say, hard same. I don't think I've ever been more scared than that.
It was
Wait,
clever,
did you
though.
bring it to the ocean?
Uh, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Please never do that again.
Let's hope that we don't get into any more situations where it's ever needed.
Yeah. Gregor will look back to like the Raiders and will look back to Farron and say, "Don't beat yourself up. You just went through hell."
I know it's not exactly my fault, but at least you were with it. What happened while I was gone?
Oh gosh. You were there for arrow firing the arrow, right?
I was there up until he was on the ground looking like he was having a heart attack.
Yeah, there was that. And then thankfully you got that thing away, and I just went for Gara. Down she went.
You did that.
Skullbreaker helped.
It was mostly me.
Of course it was, Skullbreaker. Thank you for making sure that Gregor didn't die.
Well, someone had to.
That sounds a little pointed, Skullbreaker.
Well, you weren't here, and Arrow was busy facing his own mortality, so...
I appreciate you both, okay? Everybody gets an A. And then, Gregor's just gonna kind of look at Farron for a bit. He's gonna be like all smiles, and he's gonna like run his hand through his hair and like look around a bit bashfully.
Yeah, and I think Farron is starting to really remember what they had just said right before leaving. And I think you just see like the blush kind of start to reach up to the ears.
And Gregor will just say, "So, yeah."
Right. Yes.
But for like real?
Uh, one would normally not say those kinds of things, especially right before doing something very stupid, but also perhaps heroic, one could say.
It was both.
Fine line between the two. And I think Farron is like, words are not happening for Farron for the first time ever.
Gregor's gonna like look around and I was gonna say, well, I'd kind of hoped the decor would be better, but and Gregor's just gonna lean in and kiss Farron.
And Farron will kiss back.
Woo! That's it. The show's over. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for watching. That was
Arc
From
number 2
Dust.
complete on arc number 3.
I think we transition over to Arrow as you stand up and turn around, and that is happening behind you.
Sure. So happy about it.
What would you like to do?
I thought the thing is, I'm not surprised because I thought that was always happening.
Right?
I'm like, oh, this is the first time I've ever seen them kissing in public, but they've been doing
Nice
that
moment.
for like 8 months. Even.
Somewhere, the scattered pieces of Vori's soul are like, wait, what?
Wait, what? I thought they were married. Yeah, Arrow is getting up and turning to Fletch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he just says, "Oh, where's my sister?"
Farron left her behind. We weren't sure if we weren't sure what was happening here.
We won. But regardless of that, I think moving the flame to another location is the best bet. After we've settled everything here, I think we should go back to her and find a new place to hide the flame.
Wherever we put it, someone's going to want it.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't hide it. Someone will always want it. That doesn't mean it should be easy for them to get to. That's why our surgeon is here. To make it hard to get to.
I suppose you're right.
But
And she sort of like looks around the crowd, trying to, like, as if she's looking for someone.
mm-hmm.
We know we can protect this. Out there it's different.
Then we should make it near impossible to get to. Maybe there's a place out in the sea. An island or something.
I suppose it's worth a look.
At least a look.
And I think you're interrupted, Arrow, by a familiar voice, but one that you have not heard since you left Sanctuary. You hear Mab.
Oh.
From the
Great.
Palanquin.
Sure.
And she just says your name.
Yeah, his head snaps around when he hears her voice.
Fletch looks concerned. What is it?
It's Mab. I'll be right back.
She doesn't acknowledge that. She just like goes with you.
Oh,
She's-
sure. Yeah. Great. Okay, we'll both go. Yeah, he doesn't stop her. He's not like trying to leave her there if she wants to come. Yeah. If she doesn't let go of his hand, he just holds her hand and goes over to the palanquin.
And in sort of the veiled shadows of the palanquin, you feel like you can see Mab.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
And you didn't die.
Are you happy or disappointed?
I'm surprised. I haven't been surprised in a very long time.
Well, I'm glad I could afford you that.
I'm glad I chose you. Are you ready for your next step?
I am.
Then place my feather beneath the tree.
What will it do?
What should have been done a long time ago. It will
Am I
return my
wrong to put-
strength to me.
But it won't hurt the fire, will it?
How naive. The fire can't be hurt. The fire is, has always been, always will be.
Okay. Oh well.
And as you move the veil of the palanquin aside, you can see attached to your arrow, embedded in sort of the wood of the palanquin, this feather, but Mab is not there.
Yeah.
And
He reaches out and takes a feather. He probably takes the arrow too, let's be real.
yeah, recover those things. They're limited.
Yeah, obviously. Recovering my arrows, okay. Never letting go of Fletch's hand. Then he comes back out, putting the arrow in his quiver and holding the feather. Well, you heard her, right?
She shakes her head.
Oh,
All I
okay.
heard was you.
I need to.
Oh, well, there's internet being a piece of shit. And we're back.
Yeah, he just said, I need to put the feather below the tree.
Is that wise?
She said that she cannot hurt the fire, and I believe her. And after I met her and I traveled through these woods, it was her power that I felt here. I believe that this is for the best. For everyone. Can you make me roll?
I would like you to roll. You know that face. You know the Dylan's
I
about
know
to
your
ask you to
roll.
roll
I'm
the
about
defy
to make you
danger
roll face.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll defy danger with charisma.
What do you think?
I don't like it, but that's what it feels like.
That is what it feels like, isn't it?
Can I have a +1 because we're in love?
God, you're such a
A B?
yeah. You know what? That's fair. She's very relieved that you're not dead.
Thank you. Okay, so add +1 to this. And
A
9.
9.
Still, 7 to 9. Damn it! Why do I always get the fucking 8s? It's so annoying.
Yeah, you see concern
Yeah,
on Fletch's face.
for sure.
Um,
There's concern on my face too, and in my brain.
she's not sold.
Yeah.
That this is a good idea. But you notice that she decides not to press the issue.
Awesome. I'm gonna just hold the feather in one hand. I got her hand in the other, and I'm gonna start walking towards the tree.
And I would like us to cut very briefly over to what looks like the inside of a tavern somewhere. And we see this young fellow, probably in his like early 20s, who is standing on a table in front of like an enraptured audience. And he says, like, there I was, lying on what I was sure to be my deathbed, being eaten alive from the inside by my own failures. And I knew that was it for me. I was going to die. I was going to become one of those things. But she came to me like a dark angel. And she asked me if I knew what I had done wrong. And when I saw those golden eyes, I knew what I'd done. And in that moment, everything changed. I felt whole again. And that is why I stand in front of you today. Not because of, no offense, Mabel, but not your weird poultices. It's this stranger. And the gathered crowd sort of seems confused. But in the corner of the tavern, we see a man in a white cloak stand up and draw his hood back, and we see his perfect alabaster skin. And he smiles a smile with too many sharp teeth and says, "Really? And how long ago was that?" And we're going to go to a break. We're going to step away for about 10 minutes, and when we return, we will see what our heroes do next now that they have solved their immediate crises. See you soon. Hello, welcome back to the final hour of what we have decided is going to be a slightly shorter episode of From Dust. So, I think we can time skip a little bit. Yeah? Are we comfortable with that? To either the evening or the next morning?
Are there 1 bones, 2 bones? How many bones in the time skip?
Who knows?
Multiples, probably.
So in the morning, I think, unless there's anything that y'all want to do in the evening, but I think most of the evening is taken up for like the city. Most of the evening is taken up by like dealing with the aftermath and all of the gross horribleness that comes from fighting a large battle.
Lots of mourning, I would assume.
Yeah,
especially in the city.
Mourning definitely continues into the next day, but specifically like finding people, figuring out who's alive and who's not, dealing with burials and not just leaving corpses all over the streets, that sort of stuff. So in the morning, where do we find Farron and Gregor?
Good question.
That's a very good question.
Are they doing it?
I actually don't know.
Summer.
I'm
They're
just saying.
not.
I mean, like Farron normally does it with people, so I'm not saying
Yeah,
a
but
bad thing. I'm
also
just saying
Farron
it's
is
interesting.
usually
Yeah, I
scurrying
guess.
around with people they don't have feelings for.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's interesting. Is Farron doing it with someone they actually have feelings
They
for?
are not currently doing it because of the lines and veils of this game.
Well, they could have just they're post doing it.
That is a
Moments
valid
post.
question.
I guess since we're welcome guests now, I guess where do you think maybe would have become open to us?
Could we
I don't
have
know if they really have a tavern
I'm
in
just
the
gonna put this
traditional
out there,
sense.
Dylan, if it's okay with
Mhm.
you. If Mian would have let everybody, I think Era would have invited them to stay at his house, his like childhood home.
Yeah, I think that tracks.
Okay. It's like a pretty big house because it's the speaker of the forest kind of thing. So,
So you're in a fairly well appointed room. I'm assuming because y'all were staying in the same room before you said anything about your feelings, that you're probably still
Yeah,
in the
we're
same
probably
room.
still sharing a room
Yeah.
and probably still sharing a bed.
There's only
I-
one bed. Oh no.
Um,
Era would have pointed you. He saw y'all making out. He's gonna point you to a room with one bed.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna say that
Not even a pushy way, like in a you guys are clearly together kind of way. Like you're obviously together.
Oh god damn it.
I'm gonna say that they probably didn't.
I'm gonna agree.
As in within the canon of their relationship, that like they're both still needing to figure out feelings,
I think they
despite being
probably
like,
had a very nice night.
yes, probably
Like
a really
very
nice night.
relaxing. Probably talked about some stuff.
Probably
I
a
don't
lot of
know how deep we
smooching.
got into it.
But
Skulldugger
like,
Probably a lot
really
of
wishes he
smooching.
could still
I'm gonna
vomit.
say a lot of smooching.
probably a lot of smooching. But I don't think it escalated beyond that. So probably, yeah.
So we see the two of you wake up. And it's probably pretty late in the morning. I imagine y'all slept in. Maybe
Hell
even
yeah.
on toward the afternoon at this point.
Heck yeah.
Light is streaming in through the windows, and the sounds of birdsong fill the air, mingling sort of discordantly with the occasional sounds of mourning in the distance. What do you do?
Farron probably does the same. It's like, nope, more sleep. And just probably burrows. Probably just into Gregor's chest is kind of like, nope.
I think Gregor will like groggily like wake up, probably like arm around Farron, and I'll like look at the window, kind of like look at the light, listen to the birds thing, and I'll see Farron's like not having it, but I'll say, you know, now that we're finally like allowed here and fighting's over, it's a pretty nice place.
I'm sure it'll be much nicer later, after more sleep. Maybe.
I think Gregor will kind of like look over and like seeing Farron's just like maybe still looking rough, maybe very sleepy. And Gregor will just say like, "You've never looked better than right now." Am I good at this?
Not exceptionally. I keep trying. I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
I love the idea that they probably left Skullbreaker in that room to witness all.
He hates so many things right now.
Oh god. It can Farron hear Skullbreaker? Or is this just a
Yeah.
I think Pharaoh will say, don't like it, we can just leave you in the broom closet again.
I'd like to see you try, Bard.
I can get Gregor to put you in the broom closet.
Gregor
Sorry,
thinks for
buddy.
himself. Well, regardless, enjoy your sickening morning. You have other obligations to attend to, I'm sure, later, Gregor.
I think we've earned this.
I think you were last night, too. Up until 2 in the morning. It was disgusting.
He just grumbles off.
I think Gregor will crack up.
Elsewhere.
We probably.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was literally just gonna say we probably should go see what we can help with, though. That's all.
Fine.
Elsewhere in the same building, we see Arrow and Fletch. Would y'all have gone back for Willow that day and brought her back, or no?
Farron?
If Arrow wanted, Farron
I
would
think
say
he
that.
would have. The thing is, like, he wants to put the fire somewhere else, right? Like, he does want to split it, but he wants to make sure that that's a very conscious choice by all of them of where to put it. It doesn't necessarily mean Farron's home.
Oh yeah.
His idea is an isolated place that doesn't need a city to protect it. It only needs, like, its natural elements to protect it, basically, like a buried treasure kind of situation. So going to get Willow would have been like, yeah, top priority.
Did just thinking before the previous night, did we have like Gregor give it back to you or anything?
We probably would have thrown the torch back into the main fire,
That's fair. Okay.
I would think. And same with Willow whenever she got back.
That makes sense to me.
Mien would have appreciated that. I think Mien is a little uncomfortable with the whole splitting the fire thing, but
She can get over it.
a whole conversation hasn't happened about it yet.
That's a conversation we'll have tomorrow. Yeah.
So we see Arrow and Fletch in this room. Is it your old room, Arrow?
Yeah.
Okay. God, I really want to make a joke about your mom requiring you to leave your door open, but I'm not.
Absolutely not. As if. We had a conversation about this too, Dylan, about doors open.
We did. We've
But
talked about so
Mian
many
is
things.
the type of that leaves doors open.
Oh yeah, she
like,
absolutely would be.
Yeah.
But Fletch is also the kind of person to just shut the fucking door.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we see the two of you, and I think Arrow, you wake up before Fletch. What do you do?
Yeah, I think this is. It actually is the first morning that he's woken up beside her since he left home. And I think just being alive and knowing that for now his home is safe and she's here, he's just quiet, letting her sleep. He knows that today and tomorrow will bring new things and that they're going to have to talk about leaving again, because of the path that they've set themselves on. But for like this singular moment, he just gets to be here with her with nothing else bothering them. And I think he's just gonna close his eyes and just lay there until she wakes up.
And we get this peaceful moment and I think it lingers for a while, and then there's a knock at your door,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Hawk. She said, "Hey, wake up!"
Errol gets up and he gets out of bed. He like pulls on a shirt.
Yeah, she like knocks on the door again as you're doing that.
Yeah, she's like, knock, 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 knock. They're both
Arrow.
rapid knockers. And he opens the door just a little bit, like face amount. What?
It's past noon.
And your point.
Neither of you are dead. You can do your business many times in the future, but right now there's stuff that needs to be done.
We had a long day yesterday.
I know. Everyone did.
So I'm gonna let her sleep as long as she wants to sleep.
Well, here's the thing. Fletch can sleep, but you made some decisions that I fully supported and continue to fully support, I will say. But that were maybe a little controversial. And you have proposed some ideas that are similarly controversial. Mom wants to talk.
He steps into the hallway and shuts the door behind him. And it absolutely can't wait even an hour.
I mean, it's been a couple of hours.
And it can't wait yet another hour. You could go back and say I didn't open the door.
Do you really, Arrow, search within yourself for the answer
Sure.
to this question? Do you really want me to do that? Because I'll do it and just let what happens happen.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah?
And just... It's just between me and you, okay?
Sure.
I don't know where after this I'm going, or what will happen, or anything of that nature. So, while I'm here, home, I want to marry her. And so I'm waiting for her to wake up so that when she wakes up, I can ask her.
Fuck, Kosa, are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Like, I mean, I know you just sort of like, sometimes you have these impulsive ideas, and you like.
Are you
just,
against the idea?
No, I mean, I didn't.
Hasn't
I
she
wasn't.
been nearly your sister for the past 50 years?
Well, of course, I love both of you, but you, like, just
Should I
got
not?
back together. Well, I don't. Maybe I don't. I just want to.
So it's a bad idea.
I don't. I didn't mean to say that it's a bad idea. Like, I mean, sure, yeah.
You don't seem supportive, so
I had the
kind of how
conversation,
it's
the
feeling
thought
that it's a
every
bad
once in a
idea.
while. Like,
Never
you know,
mind.
back when we're
Yeah,
seeing
I'll
each
get
other
dressed
and
and we
it's
can
like,
go
well,
talk to
they're
Mom.
probably gonna get married eventually, and so like,
It's
I guess
fine.
it makes sense.
I'll get
but-
dressed and we can go talk to Mom. And I won't. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Wait, hold on. And she's gonna like look you in the eyes. Are you sure?
Yes.
I'll buy you some time.
Do you think she'll say no?
What?
Do you think she'll say no? I mean, you seemed. Do you think she'll say no? Should I ask?
Arrow, she almost killed me and Farron and Farron's parents to get back to you. I don't... If that's not dedication, I don't know what is.
Okay. Just 30 minutes, an hour, maybe. Okay.
Yeah? You got it? Well, I'm just gonna throw your friends under the bus for it, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. Don't mess it up.
I'll do my best.
She like slaps you on the shoulder. Do your best.
Yeah. As best as not messing it up, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and he's gonna go back inside and shut the door.
Yeah. And Hawk stands in the hallway for a second and then cracks her knuckles and walks toward the room where Farron and Gregor are. And Arrow, I think as you walk back toward the bed, Fletch stirs and like cracks an eye open.
Yeah,
Everything
he walks back over and climbs into bed. You can sleep. Everything's okay.
I don't want to miss another moment with you.
It was my sister.
That makes sense. What'd she have to say?
She said that my mother wants to speak with me after all the controversial choices that I've made in the past day or so.
So should we just go?
Go where? Run away, you mean?
We can be out of here before she ever knows.
No. As much as I love the idea of running away with you, I do love my mother.
She takes a moment to kiss you. It says, "That was a test. Good job."
Can I ask you something
Of course.
important?
She sits up a little bit on one elbow.
We've known each other a long time. I would say that other than Hawk, there's definitely nobody who knows me better than you do.
That's not a question.
We're getting ready to leave home. A place that we've both spent the majority of our lives at. And during the time of my life that I thought that I would never leave this place, I always knew that I would, if you let me, marry you here.
her eyebrows go up in surprise. I would like you to roll Defy Danger Charisma. And you get a +1.
Okay, I'm really bad at things.
You are.
So +1 to whatever this is. An 8.
An 8.
It's not a fail.
It's not. It's not a fail.
No.
She's surprised. And she doesn't pull away from you. She just sort of like stops. And she looks down at like the sheets and the blankets as she's collecting her thoughts. I'll admit, I wasn't expecting that.
If you don't want to, that's okay. I just always wanted to get married here. And we're here, and I don't know for how long. If you would rather wait until we're here again, I would wait for you. I just wanted to let you know.
Motherfucking internet. Goddamn piece of shit. Worst timing. Okay, you just want to let her know.
Yeah. I just want to let you know that that's how I feel. And that I would wait for you. If that's what you want. Either way, I'm okay. I want you to have the things that you want. Whatever those are. Whatever that means. For us.
The last few days have been a lot. And we lost friends yesterday. Arrow, I love you, and there is no one I would rather spend the rest of my life with.
It's okay. Really?
I want to marry you. I want to marry you here. But I don't want us to feel that weight hanging over us. Is that okay?
Of course it is.
Well, I will say, you still haven't asked me, so I haven't gotten a chance to give you an answer.
Allie.
Kosa.
Would you do the honor of marrying me?
Well, since you asked so nicely. Yes. And she kisses you.
Yeah, he kisses her back. He's not planning on getting out of bed anytime soon. Let let his sister, let Willow do her work.
Yeah, we cut over to Hawk.
Yeah.
As she is talking to Farron and Gregor, and she's like, "There's a meeting. Your Arrow and my mom wants to talk to you. So sorry to like get you going, but
Well,
That's fine.
yeah. Suppose conversation is better than most of the other interactions that we've had recently.
How are things looking out there right now?
and Hawk gets a dark look.
It's all right.
Losses were heavy. Death in Ella Surdrin is rare enough as it is. Estimations are still being made, but at least a third of the population is gone.
Oh, jeez. Gregor will give her a pat on the shoulder. Just say, well, let's be grateful. Bad as that is, that's all there was. Kind of starting to like you people.
Well, that's good. She starts walking down the hall toward the meeting chamber where we saw Mien and Arrow speak before. And she mutters something under her breath of like all these motherfucking people just smooching all over the place. God damn. And she leads you to the meeting hall, and Mien is there. It's the first time in a while that you've seen her without her ceremonial armor on. And she's just in like clothes not dissimilar from what Hawk and Arrow wear. And she's sitting at the end of this long table that has the map of the valley in it, with a cup of wine. And where is my son? I couldn't find him. But don't worry. I'm sure he just popped out for a minute. I'll go get him. And Mien narrows her eyes. And both of you see this as my child is lying to me, and I'm deciding like what the consequences are gonna be face.
I'm staying way out of that.
And Hawk just like puts a hand on each of your shoulders and says, these two outsiders had some thoughts about what to do next with the fact that there's a fire under our tree. You should talk to them while I go find Arrow. Bye. And then she just steps out of the room.
And we'll do a half bow towards Mien.
Well,
I suppose we should discuss what to do next then. And kind of like looks back towards
my son seems intent on splitting it up and moving it away. What do you think?
I think that on many aspects, having something as powerful as the fire of life connected to only a single place is a danger not only to your people, but also to the possibility of someone or something domineering it. The reason why we split it in the first place was to avoid having Ilmagara have complete control of it if she ended up somehow victorious. Even if she had one of the flames, the other would be all the way across the country. And by the time that she would realize it, we would be able to relocate it and perhaps use it as a way against her. I do not think it's unwise to have a second one. I understand there's concerns, as it would mean there are two access points to the flame. But I do not think that it would be fair of you to ask, or fair to ask of you, that you and your people become the only guardians of what is clearly a very coveted and very magical thing.
She takes a deep drink of her wine. Stands up and walks over to the bookshelf. Do you know what our laws tell me I am to do with the two of you?
From previous interactions, I'm to assume we are to die.
She pulls a book off of the shelf and begins paging through it. Not a particularly swift death either. You were given mercy by being allowed to stay here. And you accosted one of my patrol leaders and left him in an alleyway before you fled. Summer, shut up.
Blame it on me. That's all I said.
Mian looks expectantly at the two of you.
And we are deeply regretful of our actions.
Are you?
We knew things. We were desperate to do the greater good. I hope you can forgive that of us.
She closes the book sharply. And that's what makes us different. Because you fled. She puts the book back. And you rescued my daughter. And then you could have left for good. Left us to die. But you brought more outsiders into this city. And without you, and without them, Elisurgeon would be no more. Everything I know tells me that you should die for what you have done. That you never should have been allowed to pass through the gates of this city. But what I know is not the greater good.
It never has been. It wasn't meant to be.
Laws are good guidelines, ma'am, but as you can imagine, the world is a little more gray than that. And if I'm to speak frankly, Surgeon is a unique and wonderful place, but it's been so separated from the world, and the world has changed much. Perhaps it's time to consider how Surgeon can change to better suit this new world. What time using Charmy and Open?
Ooh, are you now?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a question? You ask?
Yeah. Also, I believe that because we rested, they were leveling up.
Yes.
Could that
Correct.
Could that happen? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you had XP for it, and
yes,
you
I
did
had
rest,
so much XP for it.
So yes, you may spend your level plus 7 XP to level up. Is there a particular advancement that you're looking to invoke here?
I'm still unsure. No, I think I'll just go with. I want to go with What are you really feeling right now?
So you ask her this, and she laughs and sits down. I'm tired. Gods, you must. Wherever your parents are, you must frustrate them to no end.
I'm sure they would quite agree.
Well, we all try our best, but my children are busy lying to me and running some sort of scheme on their own. But
Farron just weighs the potential of just being like, I know exactly what Arrow's doing. Like, Hawk didn't need to tell him what was happening. Like, as soon as, like, hey, so Arrow can't make it. It's like, oh, God.
You're right. Elisurdra needs to change. Trying to stay the same nearly cost us everything.
And if that is the case, it would be quite difficult to hide the fact that the fire rests here.
What do you wish I'd do?
I do not wish to take it away from you, but perhaps another case for perhaps moving it, or a part of it.
I will let you take a mote from the flame as a reward for the services you have rendered to this city and to my family. Do with it as you see fit.
And Farron will bow again. More than generous.
Should you return to these woods,
I can't guarantee that our borders will be open. At least not to all. But to you. You may consider yourselves citizens of Elisardran.
It is a great honor.
It is also a responsibility.
Of course.
Very well.
Is there anything else you would like to discuss with us, madame?
If I may be so bold, I plan to get incredibly drunk while I wait for my son to stumble his way in.
Nice.
Farron will crack a smile at that. Then we'll leave you to it. Unless you have something else, Gregor?
No, thank you.
She toasts you with the wine. And I think our camera pulls out the window of this building as we hear the door close behind you. And we look over the city of Elisardran as it returns slowly to its former glory. We can see on the edge of the forest green beginning to sprout around the chopped stumps of the damaged forest, and then we cut to what is it, Magi's Crossing? Yeah. And we see Narum standing in the crossroads of this small town, this village, really, holding the scythe. And he sweeps it through the air in an arcing motion, and a gateway appears in front of him of a roiling black fog. And he steps through. And the gate closes. And that's where we're going to end our episode tonight. So, we are going to be back in 2 weeks, probably, if nothing comes up. We'll be back in 2 weeks. But before that, let's go around and say who we are, where people can find us, what we're up to in the near future, starting with Summer, the Bone Boy.
Hi. You can find me here every other Saturday and most every Sunday.
Soon,
Most every Sunday. Keep an eye out on Dylan's Twitter for all that information, or my Twitter if you want to just catch me retweeting Dylan's Twitter. My Twitter is at just a summer job. That's where I retweet about everything that I've got going on. I don't do any tweets myself because I'm lazy as fuck. Monday you can find me on Tales from the Grim on Twitch, Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. Playing some D&D. This next week is bound to be interesting. I'm really excited. We've had a lot of players who are moving in and out, and so we're going to be playing catch up to see where other characters have been and where they're going and all that good stuff. And then obviously Monday nights I'm back here with Dylan, and this week we're playing. What are we playing?
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. I've never played it and watched anything about it. I know about it. I know things about it, but I've never actually watched it and or played it. So I'm excited. So we'll be doing that for a couple of Mondays. Tuesdays, you can find me on Off the Table, off_the table on Twitch and Twitter, playing Alas for the Awful Sea. Wednesday, Nada. Thursday, finale of Monster Hearts. Friday, finale of Dark Side of the Blue, which is set in the Lady Blackbird universe that Kiana created for us. So really excited for that. It's gonna be really fun. Oh, also Kiana will be there. We hope. Fingers crossed. It's gonna be really wild, buck wild and fun. I'm very excited. But yeah, just follow Twitter.
Yeah.
It's where
Twitter,
everything happens, good and mostly bad, but good stuff too.
Twitter, it's where it happens.
It's where it happens.
It's where we tweet out what we're doing, and also racists tweet at me to get angry
They
about
tweet
me
at you,
telling them to
about
stop.
you, around you,
Yeah.
for you. They're the worst. Great. Love
They
Twitter.
really are. Twitter's great. Next up, Kiana, who did not fucking drown. Somehow.
I didn't die.
You didn't die.
Several smooches, so I'm happy.
Yeah, besides not drowning and getting several spooches, what do you do and what are you up to?
Well, I'm Kiana S on Twitter. Best way to figure out what I'm doing, because I do a lot of tabletop stuff, from streaming to writing and just kind of shouting to the void about it. Coming up next, tomorrow we have episode 2 of The Witcher Crimson and Ash over on my channel,
fuck yeah.
Salty Sweet Games. It's super fun. We have some big old wolves that are happening, real big wolves. I'm sure it's fine. It's not like we just stepped into their den and there's like 6 of them. It's cool. We're cool. We're real good at our jobs. There's that. Also, starting, next week, we won't have From Dust, but next Saturday, I will be on the Roll20 channel as part of their Call of Cthulhu Valentine's Day one-shot that's happening. I'm very excited. I have no idea who I'm playing yet. I volunteered to be the pinch hitter in terms of skills, because I've played several times, so I don't feel strongly towards anyway. So it might be the weirdest fucking build as I just try to slot in skills for everybody else. But I'm super excited for that. As Summer said, there's Dark Side of Blue next week is the finale. I'm really excited. I've been really cool seeing what Summer's done with the Lady Blackbird universe I've made. And yes, I will be showing up there. I'm not saying as who, but I'm
We don't know.
there
Who knows? Who can say?
to be very dramatic. Am I buying makeup next week for it? Yes.
Oh boy.
So it's going to be a time. I'm very, very hyped for that. Yeah. Other than that, hanging out here. I'm in chat a lot for the other shows on this channel. So you'll see me floating around. But it's been good. A good episode. Good things happened, including not dying and smooching.
Yeah, I typically classify those as good things. Speaking of not dying, but specifically of smooching, Adam, who are you? Where can people find you?
I'm glad Gregor didn't die inside tonight.
Yeah.
That was my big concern. But hey, I'm Adam. I am voice actor. I am on Twitter at AdamRoVO. I'm not particularly active on there these days, but I do share when I go live on here and any other big announcements. But I am much more active on Instagram, Adam Rose Minis, where I paint miniatures, and I also share my TikTok videos on there of me just sharing what little pearls of wisdom I've come to gather in my tabletop years, and just being a goof, because I guess those are my 2 brands.
That tracks.
Yep. And
Awesome.
you can catch me here bi-weekly. This is the only stream I got going on right now. So if you want to see my face, you have to keep watching this show.
You heard it here, folks. You have to keep watching the show.
Mhm.
You have to come back in 2 weeks to watch more of this. You have to. I'm Dylan. You're already on my channel. You can find me here frequently. You can find me in other places sometimes. Let's see. Alternating from Dust now on Saturdays is going to be Omori High School Ghost Club, which is the Monster of the Week game I've been playing over on Jess's channel. We have moved time slots to be opposite From Dust, so you'll be able to see me doing some weird monster shit every single weekend on Saturdays. But the big things I want to shout out are, 1, you should take a look at my itch.io, which is anarsis.itch.io, where you can see my most recent issue of the Patreon Papers, which is my monthly release of homebrew content sponsored by my Patreon. And this month's has a love domain cleric, as I mentioned at the top of the show. Last month was a playbook and several assorted campaign moves for trying to play a Witcher or a Witcher-themed campaign in Dungeon World. And the previous 2 months were other things that, frankly, I have forgotten. But they're all up there, and they're free for pay what you want on itch.io. You can grab them for $0, or if you're feeling particularly generous, multiple dollars. And yeah, Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, you'll be able to see Summer and also me, as she mentioned, for Life is Strange. I'm very excited. I love that game. And I'm really stoked to share it with Summer and also with y'all in chat. It is a very good game. It has some sensitive topics, and I'll be sure to be content warning that. I'm actually planning on having a content warning command for chat to try and help with that for the live viewing instead of just moving all of that into the YouTube. But it is an amazing game. That it's one of the first games that I played it, and I was like, oh, this is a game can make you feel things. So I'm pretty stoked for that, and the soundtrack is fucking great. So I expect the VODs to be muted and all of the YouTube videos to be instantly copyright struck. But oh well, it's worth it. Tuesday you can see me over on Summer's channel, as she said, for Alas for the Awful Sea. And Wednesday I'm actually gonna have a video game stream this week. I think I've recovered enough that I can do a video game stream. It might be Indivisible. We'll see. I'm sort of considering I might stop playing it. Honestly. Even though I feel like I've gotten to the good part, I'm not sure. So
Give up. Just let it go.
Either it will be Indivisible, or I believe what I said I was going to play next was my second playthrough of Nier Automata. So one of the two of those things will be happening on Wednesday at about 5 Pacific. So yeah. And Kiana forgot to mention a thing. Kiana, say it.
Hi, sorry, forgot, because I was like, wait, Summer's here. We're premiering Masks of Nyarlathotep, Pulp Cthulhu Edition on Salty Sweet Games. The first episode's on the 22nd. Summer's playing it. Lauren's GMing it. So shit's gonna be wild.
No concerns literally whatsoever about that.
No, and it's totally not like Summer and I made characters that are in a really slow burn ritual pining
Why would we?
situation
There's
again.
no point to doing that.
Pining.
Why would we do that?
Yeah, so Salty Sweet Games, follow that for making sure to get on top of that, because I went, wait, is that in 2 weeks? Oh shit, it is in 2 weeks. So that's 9 a.m. PST and noon EST on Saturdays, starting
Summer,
on the
you're
22nd.
waking up that early? Amazing.
Can you believe it? I had
No,
to.
actually.
I had to. It was my only option.
Well, awesome. Definitely check that out. And if you're not already following Salty Sweet Games on Twitch, go do that. Just open up a tab and do that right now. Before I go, I want to say some thank yous. Thank you, Snowdogs, for the 1 year resub. Holy shit, a year is a long time. Thank you so much, and enjoy your new 1 year shield chat badge. Thank you as well to Summer. Oh my goodness, you're right here. I can thank you to your face. Thank you for the bits, for yelling at Farron and Gregor
You're
to smooch. Thank you to Rock for the bits celebrating said smooches, and again for the bits here at the end of the show. Thank you all so much. I try not to talk too much about money stuff with streaming, despite the fact that I know you're supposed to, because it makes me uncomfortable and I feel weird about it. But honestly, all of the money that goes into this channel is a huge help for me, whether it comes from bits or subs or Patreon stuff. I am entirely self-employed, and the bulk of my income right now is that support, so it makes a huge difference. Thank you all so much. But most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night.